अस्सलामुअलैकुम, आप देख रहे हैं देसी टीवी यूएसए। अब तक की खुसूसी रिपोर्ट के साथ मैं हूं ताबिंदा गुल। 17 सितंबर 2024 को बरोज़ मंगल एथनिक मीडिया सर्विसेज ने ह्यूस्टन एथनिक मीडिया 2024 इलेक्शन के उन्वान से एक प्रेस ब्रीफिंग का एहतमाम किया। ये EMS की सैंडी क्लॉस और ह्यूस्टन इंडोमेंट की मुश्तरका काविश थी। मुकर्रीन में लीग ऑफ वुमेन वोटर्स की एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर कैटी कैम्पबेल शुम्वे थी। जीसस जंबोरा माई फैमिलिया इन एसएससीएन की फील्ड मैनेजर 𝐂𝐔𝐘𝐒, एलिफ वोट्स में एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर क्रिस वाल्डस, ह्यूस्टन में एक्शन में मसला डायरेक्टर डेबरा चिन, OCA ग्रेटर ह्यूस्टन एरिया में प्रोग्राम डायरेक्टर AG दुरानी, 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒 ख़जानची, 𝐼 नॉर्मन, वॉरी जॉनर्स के एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर और एंडोमेंट के फेलो शामिल थे। आइए एक नज़र डालते हैं कि ब्रीफिंग में क्या क्या बताया गया। इस ब्रीफिंग में एक चीज़ मुश्तरक है कि हर वोट की गिनती होती है, आपको वो डालना चाहिए और हर एक वोट अहम है। हमारे तमाम मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म हमेशा तमाम कम्युनिटीज़ के अफराद को वोट डालने के लिए आगाही देते हैं और वोट की अहमियत को उजागर करने में अपना किरदार अदा करते हैं। AG दुरानी ने भी खुसूसी तौर पर दरख्वास्त की है कि इस मरतबा भी 21 अक्टूबर को वोटिंग में हिस्सा देना शुरू करें ताकि तवील कतारों और लाइन में लगने से बच सकें। वक्त की बचत करें और पहले ही वोट डालें।
The challenges of getting to vote, is it getting harder or easier, and why is a topic. I'm just thinking as an editor that's a good question, and here are some great sources that can address that question. This is really helpful because here I'll go back to California. I'm going to use a lot of what I'm learning.
Thank you, Sandy. So OCA Greater Houston, like many of the other organizations here, right, we were all extremely negatively impacted by the passage of SB 1, which essentially is a voter suppression law in the last legislative session. And the passage of it, plus all the misinformation and disinformation around it, created a lot of confusion, frankly, I think fear.
Thank you, Sandy, and thank you for convening this. I think I will speak for all of us over here that we all will benefit from, I think, media services having this kind of convening, but we hear from all communities. Because one of the issues that has always been is there's no one individual organization that speaks for all. Anyway, let me talk about 𝐂𝐲 a little bit, and I'm going to address exactly what you said. So 𝐂𝐲 is a civic engagement organization that works primarily in the Arab, Middle Eastern, Muslim, South Asian community, which are referred to as MMSA. However, what people don't realize is that we also work within the African American and the Hispanic Muslim communities. And 1/3 of all Muslims, by the way, are African Americans. Very few people think of that. They mostly think that Muslims are South Asians, Indian Pakistanis, Arabs. Okay. We have been active here. 𝐂𝐲 has over the last 2 decades. Next year that we will have had 20 full years of organized work. We educate, empower Muslim Americans through educational events, voter initiatives, and leadership development to foster a community of knowledgeable and motivated, impactful citizens. Next week on Thursday, October 26th, we shall be having a candidate forum, not just for AAPIs, not just for Muslims, but general candidate forum where organizations like Baker Ripley and many of the community organizations over here will be participating.
Civic engagement through civic education, leadership opportunities, and development, as well as youth-led community projects and events. We really started out to address that low voter turnout in the 𝐂𝐲 area, and if you don't know where that is, that's in the southwest Houston area, and it's really known as kind of that cultural area with a lot of migrants there, and it's in the District F area, and in the past, District F has also been dubbed as the Forgotten District, but through the work with 𝐂𝐲 Votes and a lot of our community partners, we worked on making sure that it's the district worth remembering, and it's the
followers again and interaction with the younger folks.
Yeah, what we use is so you can always have hashtag Mi Familia en Acción. We do Latinos Unidos, which is Latins together, and we do siempre juntos always, or hashtag.
With the help of the people here on the panel who are on the front lines of making sure that people are informed and have access to voting, really. Our organization serves as support to be able to empower our organizations and membership to have the tools that they need to do the work that they do, to have the communications capacities, which is part of why we're here in front of all these wonderful media outlets today. I wanted to make a point earlier about your question to Hunja, is like, because of the position that we're in, we get to see a lot of the data around like effectiveness and which tactics work. And I'll say that in 2023, the single most effective tactic wasn't one tactic, but it was the combination of two tactics. To Hunja's point, conversations in real life events were far and away the most effective tactic. And when they were coupled with a digital follow-up or a digital point of connection after that, became the most successful combination of things. So for everyone here who's thinking about their own events or covering their own events, thinking about how people are met both in real life but also on their digital platforms is a winning combination. I wanted to talk, and thank you, Sandy, for this platform. I wanted to share a little bit about a couple of things that have already come up. I think that...
Why? They cannot understand the English, so they have to rely on somebody else who already prepared everything, right? They feed that kind of information, so that is not correct. Just example is like January 6th. When I saw that January 6th, I realized I was so angry and I was so mad, So I was so angry. But I realized, that day I realized.
Contested races, and those we'll be recording within the next couple weeks and have them available, and we'll make sure to share those out as well.
Okay, last question for now.
First of all, thank you once again. The League of Women Voters is doing an excellent job. I have two parts question. First of all, how do you get your funding? And number two, what was the criteria that I can see that you're Spanish, Chinese, and there when we have other communities, they are much larger than that one. And nowadays we have a new Afghanistan people have been here. So do you have any plan to have a different languages?
It's a great question. Love talking about funding. So we are primarily funded by individual donations and grants. And we have membership as well, but that is shared between the state and national leagues. So individual donations make the biggest impact, as followed by grants. And as far as the language selection, we follow what the county does for the ballots. One of our biggest challenges that we see is just getting this valuable piece of information and education out to people who need it and want it. A lot of people are unaware of this unless you're a seasoned voter. We forget that, when you're a first-time voter.
우리 훈투스, 우리 훈투스 is the Korean word 우리. 우리 means we. Juntos is a Spanish word together, so we ride together. So I see the need working together in Spring Branch and Houston.
Our weekly newspaper. Before our newspaper at the small population immigration community.
Harris County, the ballot will have Chinese language, Chinese ballot. So that's why we hope that through our video, we can be eyes, ears for the community to report on the issues people should.
Chinese daily news. We've been in the market for about 40-something years.
Welcome today in our space. I also want to give a big shout out to our grantee, Ethnic Media Services, as well as our group of community leaders and panelists today. Before we get started, we just wanted to go over some quick housekeeping items. So in the case of emergency, feel free to use these two doors up here and exit from our lobby out in the
अब तक के लिए इतना ही। देखते रहिए देसी टीवी USA, DTV NN एंड हमारा OTT प्लेटफॉर्म DTV Flix, जहां आप 3000 से ज़ायद चैनल देख सकते हैं। सो स्टे ट्यून एंड स्टे विद अस।